Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And sometimes politicians make really bad decisions. This one, it's not a bad decision politically, but the optics are awful because it's got nothing to do with politics. But it does involve a politician, and it does go to show what bad decisions mean and how they look afterwards. We're talking about a man who's just been cleared of any wrongdoing, ironically. And so while he hasn't broken any rules, I would suggest that this makes him look awful. We are talking, of course, you've seen the thumbnail, we're talking about Douglas Ross. Because what he's done, I think it's rude more than anything else. I think it's rude, it's unthinking. It's someone who obviously has a problem with his own personal space and privacy. Maybe there's things that he doesn't want people to see, I don't know. But we'll take a look at this because honestly, it is just one of those things where you think, you could have done that better, Ross. You really could have done that better. Let's take a look. So, Douglas Ross accused of asking a staffer to sit outside his rented flat for 5 hours as he waited for a plumber. The woman spent 5 hours waiting outside the Tory leader's rented flat while furious aides grappled with his expenses. Now, of course, it turns out he's absolutely fine with his expenses. He's been cleared, there's no wrongdoing, and that really annoyed the SNP. They so wanted to have him there so they could grapple with him and use that as a big stick to beat him with. But alas, that has been removed from them because he didn't break the rules. And that's fine. Move on. Well, we are moving on. You see, because this one isn't a political thing. It's nothing that breaks rules. It's nothing that anyone can really use as a political weapon against him. But just simply from a humanitarian point of view. Douglas Ross, what were you thinking? I get sometimes plumbers can be unreliable and you do need to hang around all day. And so, yeah, okay, get someone to go and house sit for a few hours. Not a problem. Why didn't you give this woman a key to let herself in so she had somewhere comfortable to sit, make herself a cup of tea, watch a bit of telly? No. You're making her sit on a step outside the house like some kind of naughty child. Oh, Ross, this is desperate. And why did you not want her in there? What have you got in your flat that is so damaging that you didn't want anyone on your own team to see? Anyway, Douglas Ross has been accused of abusing taxpayer funds after the MP asked his office manager to sit outside his rented flat for 5 hours waiting for a plumber. Now, I'm going to argue it's probably not a waste of public funds because had he not got the staffer on a lower wage than him to do it, he would have had to have done it. That would have meant, in terms of hourly rate, much more money being spent. And if somebody had to be there, then fine. I don't have a problem with that. I'm on about the fact that they let the person sit on the outside of the door, not on the inside. Anyway, the outgoing Tory leader, whose boiler had broken, asked a female employee to wait at the property in Edinburgh to give the tradesman access as other staff struggled to get grips with the questions over his dodgy travel claims. Now, how did she give him access? She must have had a key. If she had the key, why didn't she go in? Did he tell her not to go in? Or did the plumber have the key and she had to be there to cover the plumber? There's a lot of stuff going on here that doesn't look good. As the Sunday Mail put detailed questions to him over his expenses amid the MP's undeclared referee wages row, Ross asked the manager to head out to the house he rents in the capital. One senior party figure said it was ridiculous as the team around Douglas were trying to understand his expenses and whether he put any claims in while he was travelling for refereeing. Turns out he had not. And they'd looked at all the documents and they'd seen all that, and that's fine. It was fine. So why outside? Did he instruct her not to go into his flat? This is what's weird. This is what's absolutely weird about this. She had the key. She would have gone in. Unless she didn't have the key, of course. In which case, the plumber had it. But why did he instruct her not to go into the flat? Ross, you need to answer these questions. Anyway, the SNP, who've made the Aberdeenshire North and Moray seat a Tier 1 target after Ross announced he was standing down as Scottish Party leader, They won't win that. There's no way SNP are going to take anywhere in Aberdeenshire because people know that they'd like to keep their jobs. Anyway, they said perhaps if Douglas Ross didn't have 3 jobs, he'd have time to deal with the task that ordinary people have to do themselves and not be completely out of touch with the people he's meant to represent. I bet that Ross sees more people that he's in contact with doing his things than anyone in the SNP. Ross gets out on a football pitch and he meets people in that. He meets normal people. He's got a proper job, as it were. Not like these SNPs who sit in their ivory towers. Now, I'm not defending Ross. I think, he has made mistakes. I'm not saying that. But politically, he's innocent of his charges there. But I think this is just very, very poor decision-making. Anyway, the Tories insist Ross's office manager was carrying out the errand in personal time as a favour to Ross, who is her friend. And they had identified 28 claims, blah, 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 blah. Don't want to know about the expenses claim. It's over. But why not let her go in? Why make her sit outside? What's going on? That's the question. Why? Look at that picture. I'm just going to say that picture. He's left his yellow card in his pocket. Anyway, why did she have to sit outside? What is going on? It's weird, isn't it? It's weird. He doesn't want her rooting around his stuff. It's clear. Anyway, not much of a story, but it's just something that it just clicked in my head. Why would he make her sit outside? Who knows? Anyway, we'll finish that there. We'll come up and we'll finish the video. I think politically, as I say, it's a non-story. The SNP trying to big this up as being, it's another scandal. It's another scandal. It's not a scandal. It's not a scandal. Either she did it in her own time, in which case, tough, nothing there. Or even if she did it in company time, as it were, her hourly rate will be a lot less than Douglas Ross's. And so it makes sense that you use that rather than him being missing and that. Just to hang around for a plumber. We've all had it. We've all had to either take a morning off or arrange for a neighbour to have the key or some such because, repairman coming in or you're expecting a delivery, that sort of thing. Thankfully, not an issue for me now that I've sort of semi-retired. This is my job now, and I enjoy it and I love it. But I'm always here for it. But previously, yeah, I'd be throw it over the fence, the next door neighbour or some such, or if it was something that a plumber had to come in, I'd leave either a neighbour or whatever, a key. Or, either myself and my wife would take a morning off or a day off, depending what it was. But not letting her in? Nah, there's something weird there. There is something very weird. And it just puts a little glint onto Douglas Ross. Makes you sort of question why. Don't know. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video, and I will speak to you later. Bye.